All right. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Thursday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock. Okay, let's try that again. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Thursday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Batters Rookie Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Yes, Drew's already awake. Have not showered yet this morning. Kind of a sluggish and rough morning, and I'm going to try to work out a little bit. So after I bring Drew to school, so hopefully kind of get my day on a much better foot than it is right now. Weird. You ever just wake up on the wrong side of the bed? I'm gonna put some good energy out in the world from now on. I'm turning that around starting right now. Gonna have a great morning and a great day. So let's get to it. LSU had a scrimmage yesterday. Well, it was a practice, and they finished the practice with scrimmage scenario. Basically, offense started at the 30, and then it was you're putting together a drive to see what happened. So they ran 5 drives. The offense scored 2 touchdowns and had 2 field goal attempts, 1 make, 1 miss, and then a 3 and out. So quarterbacks played pretty well. Daniels went first. Noah Kane really is coming along. Armani Goodwin, interestingly enough, was the first running back on the field in that team portion earlier in practice. So they're still rotating those guys, but it feels like Kane and Goodwin have surpassed Emery at this point, at least from what we've seen. Good day catching the ball for Jere Jenkins. Offense really had an awesome day. Offense was just, it was the offense's day, for sure. Garrett Dellinger really struggled snapping the ball yesterday, in large part because of Mason Smith, who is a monster and was disrupting everything. So, it was just a really offensive day. Mason Taylor did have a nice day as well. Had a couple of catches, including a 3rd down conversion during the scrimmage where they threw it to him in the left flat. Just like a little tight end screen. He released down the line, turned around, hit him, and they turned upfield, got 7 yards on the 1st down. So, really good day for the offense, for the receivers. Let me know if y'all got questions. Happy to answer anything I can. Fire away. Tim Gotro, Joey Vincent, Trivia Carter, Cliff Nelson, Weston Weaver, Mackenzie Mathern. How was the burger last night? It was really good. T-Bob and I split it in half. So they had like a blue cheese burger, I guess, at Oliver Twist. It really was fantastic. Like, I would order it. Absolutely. Cliff Nelson, positive vibes only. No doubt, man. Matthew Vincent, good morning. Do you think the LSU 2023 class will pass up Notre Dame's 2023 class? I don't know, Matthew, and honestly, I don't care. I mean, I'm not the recruiting guy, and I don't care if I just sign a bunch of really good players. I don't care where it ranks or how it's rated. Just sign a bunch of really good players and go win. I know I'm not copping out, man. I really have no idea. I don't know what prospects Notre Dame's in on, how many they want to sign. Hell, I don't know how many LSU's going to sign. Because there's no hard cap of 25 anymore. So LSU's likely going to sign over 30 guys in this class. So they may end up with a high-ranked class because they'll have more players. Marty Savoy, good morning from Houston. You're correct. My name is Savoy. You got it. Zachary Schwarzer, good morning. Brian Broom, Reagan Lee. I know you feel Jaden Daniels will be the one to take the first snap. That being said, do you see any separation yesterday? No, I mean, I think you could play either guy and feel good with it. I thought both looked really good yesterday. Quentin Breakbill, Kevin Banta. Football games can start now. Stephen Fry, good morning. Aiden Cruz, morning, Matt. Random question. Do you think Lane Kiffin will look at leaving Ole Miss again this year for a bigger job like he did after last season? The tough part, Aiden, is he did sign a contract extension at Ole Miss, so someone would likely have to pay a bigger buyout, right, to get him out of his Ole Miss contract. But does Lane Kiffin want to leave Ole Miss? Yes. I think he realizes there's a glass ceiling there. He's only going to win at a certain level there. It's rural Mississippi. I mean, this is a guy who lived in L.A. and in South Beach, and rural Mississippi is not exactly the life he wants. Tim Sonia, good morning, Matt. Go Hudco, thank you. Chance Babin, show that tripod who the boss is. Brant Roban, good morning. Feeling optimistic after tomorrow? After tomorrow? Do you mean after yesterday? I don't know. I mean, I think I feel about the way that I did before. I mean, I don't know that we're going to see anything that drastically alters the way I feel. I think you still have you play a really good schedule. The quarterbacks of the SEC this year are incredible. Even from the schools you're supposed to beat. Will Rogers at Mississippi State, Hendon Hooker at Tennessee, Jackson Dart at Ole Miss, KJ Jefferson at Arkansas. You know what I mean? That's the same time about Bryce Young. So, it's tough, man. Tough schedule, tough year. We'll see. Henry Gordon Bennett saw over 10 years, Brian Kelly got a total of 8 4-star or better recruits from the state of Indiana. He currently has 7 alone this cycle from Louisiana and going to add more. What a contrast of talent. Say it all the time, Henry. That's why it's at Notre Dame to win, you have got to recruit nationally. You cannot recruit the state of Indiana. There's no talent in Indiana. So you have got to, you want to go see the best players in the country, you got to get on a plane and fly to go see the best players in the country. In Louisiana, you want to see the best players, you drive from Dalrymple to Hearthstone to go see Shelton Sampson. You know what I mean? You drive to Liberty Magnet to go see Jackson, the running back. It's just, you get on I-10 and you take the Segan exit to go to Woodlawn to go see your quarterback, Ricky Collins. You know what I mean? It's just completely different. Hey, Rashad Bolden, Chase Pellegrin, Jerry DeLucky, good morning. Katie Presley, Bill Schmid, Reagan Lee. Mason Taylor looks really fluid at tight end position. He does, looks really good. It's almost like he's the son of a former, of an NFL Hall of Famer. Mason Taylor looks really good. I don't know how he is as a blocker. They did some short yardage stuff yesterday where they offense had 2 tight ends on the field and defense put an extra linebacker on the field, and that was one drill where the defense just obliterated the offense, was the short yardage. There was one of the drives in the scrimmage. The offense had 1st and goal from the 6. Josh Williams got a 2-yard gain. Then Mason Smith blew up the play and dropped Williams for a 4-yard loss. Basically took the handoff. And then on 3rd down, they pressured Nussmeier, who made the mistake that I think everyone who talks about his gunslinger mentality fears. He just rolled right and kept running backwards toward the sideline. He ran probably back toward the 25 or the 30-yard line. He literally ran backwards about 20 yards, and then heaved it, and he didn't throw it away. He threw it into the end zone, and Jay Ward just dropped an interception. That's the play that that can cost you a game. Throw it away, kick the field goal. Man, coach really called out Jenkins yesterday. I love it. Yeah, he's looking for leadership on his team. There's no doubt. And it's evident there isn't a lot of player leadership, at least not vocal leadership. Even though Ojulari, who's got the 18, he's not he's not a very vocal guy. So, yeah. I mean, the most vocal guys at practice are the coaches. Mitchell Prine, morning. Do you think Nuss has a better chance at starting because he will be at LSU for a few years and Daniels is a one and done, or is Keller worried about winning this year? Yeah, they're worried about winning this year. The future has zero at all to do with it. I mean, Nussmeier will get his chance eventually, and it might be this year, but they're going to play the best guy that gives them a chance to beat Florida State. Clark Tiger Davis, good morning. Stephen Farber, good morning. I know the receivers are looking good. How does our run game look? It's absolutely necessary to be able to run the ball. Yeah, so the short yardage thing did not go well yesterday. Defense, quite honestly, has dominated short yardage. But when you have that defensive line, that's kind of what you expect. Noah Kane looks really good. Armani Goodwin looks good. Armani Goodwin took there was a play, it was a screen. Goodwin took a screen. So it was the third drive. So Daniels got the first possession, ones against ones, and they went 7 plays, 70 yards, touchdown. Nussmeier got a drive with the twos. He drove him down the field. And they missed a field. They stalled out and missed a field goal, 37-yarder. It was a bad snap, but kids still should have made it. Third drive was the ones on ones again, and Daniel started the drive. They had a penalty, so it was 1st and 15. He completed 15 yards to Jere Jenkins and a 15-yard quarterback keep. So boom, boom, Daniels has you right down the field. Then throws a 21-yarder to Kayshon Boutte, who catches the ball and split 2 defenders and gets you down to the 20. So they get down into the red zone and they put in Nussmeier. So Nussmeier did the red zone offense with the ones, and this is where they stalled out and he ended up throwing it into the end zone, which was. But anyway, on Nussmeier's first play, Major Burns from his safety spot came up, had a TFL on 22 on Armani Goodwin. So it was 2nd and 11, and they ran a screen to Goodwin. It was like a little bubble screen to the left side, and he took it around the left end and dump trucked. It was 22 on 22. Colby Richardson, ran him over, and got into the end zone. But they did have officials, so the official said he stepped out. So they put him out at the 6, and that's when that sequence happened that I talked about. So the offense moved the ball fluidly. I think we were talking about the short yardage, but when the first drive, they got into a short yardage situation because they had 1st and goal from around the 4, and Noah Kane ran it twice and scored. And then that drive I was talking about, when they had 1st and goal from the 6, Nuss had to burn a timeout. They ran it for 2 yards with Josh Williams. They had the 4-yard loss when Mason Smith blew up the play, and then the Nussmeier near interception in the end zone. So, good and bad. As far as short yardage. Renee Marks, hey Dad, good morning. Cale Reynolds, what's more concerning, O-line or special teams? Man. Yeah, I think no one's talking about special teams, which we need to be, because, you get down to the red zone. If the offense gets the ball down to the 20-yard line, you've got to get points. To miss a field goal wide left when you get to the 20 is concerning. Jay Bramblett is going to be an important guy on this team. It's a Notre Dame punter transfer, because not only is the punter, he's also the holder. And they have And the kid who was kicking yesterday is number 34. Got to remember his name. Why can't I remember this kid's name? Damian Ramos, number 34. He's a redshirt freshman from Baltimore. Damian Ramos. He's a right-footed kicker, and he's the one who looks like he's going to get the job. But Nathan Dybert and Ezekiel Mata are both lefties. They're both left-footed kickers. So Bramblett's going to have to hold from both sides as well, depending on, who wins the job as a place kicker. All right, y'all, smash the like button if you haven't done so yet. Appreciate y'all. Where are my YouTube comments aren't showing up? Trivia YouTube's not cooperating. There we go. Had to refresh. Hang on. Okay. Damon Gilmore, Merrick Mathern. Has Garrett played center before? He has not. First time ever. And Brian Kelly did talk about yesterday why they tried him there. He said because he's a smart player who can move and has size. And he kind of talked about how the days of small, undersized centers, just those are gone because you have these gigantic defensive linemen, so you have to have bigger, more physical centers. Armstrong Grappling, my only LSU football question is this: why do we wear purple jerseys with gold pants and gold helmets more often? Or why don't we? We never wear them for big SEC games, best uniforms in football, not even close. Actually, Armstrong Grappling, I disagree. I think that is a completely pukey uniform to wear the purple jerseys. It is offensive to have that much color to go gold, purple, gold. The only time the purple jersey would be acceptable, in my opinion, would be as if you wore white helmets and white pants to offset it. The gold, purple, gold is a heinous-looking uniform. And the white at home is just a phenomenal tradition, and I love it. And the gold, white, gold is one of the cleanest, best-looking uniforms in football because it has enough purple in it as an accent with the numerals and then the purple and gold stripe on the shoulder. That is the stripe down the gold pants, leg. Those are gorgeous, and I don't want white, purple, white because white isn't your color scheme, and it shouldn't be a primary color on the uniform. Morning, Matt. How many times did they line up in I formation? They only went under center and stuff like that when they were two tights whenever they were in goal line situations or short yardage. Wendell Norman, Cliff Nelson, 2 years of Mason Smith after a year in college strength is going to be a problem for the SEC. That's true. He is going to be a problem for people. Taz, what's up? I was watching Skip and Shannon on yesterday. They said Roquan's value is between a second and third pick. That's the case. Saints should jump on it. I'm with you. I don't think the Bears give him up for a 2 or a 3. Dylan Meadows, good morning. Samuel Smith, who's the fourth receiver off the bench, if the bench isn't ready. Who is the fourth receiver if bench isn't ready to go? Oh, Besh, I'm guessing. Besh is good, by the way. He had a little sleeve on his lower leg, I guess, for whatever the shin splint thing he was dealing with. But he didn't participate in the scrimmage portion, but he did everything else yesterday. He'll be fine. Brad David, why can't Mike Leach get a better job than Mississippi State since he had a good record at tough places to win? Because he's a weird guy. Doesn't recruit. Hasn't won at a high level. So if you are a top 15 program, in a sense, you are taking a chance on Mike Leach because he's just a weird guy, doesn't recruit really well, and has never won at a major program. That's why you're just taking a risk. Hiring coaches a lot of times is about mitigating risk. You got an Olave jersey yet, Scone? Do not. Sounded like Jay Ward had a bad day. Is he in danger of losing his starting job? No, I wouldn't say so. They know what Jay Ward can do, and he's a really good player. Brian Kelly mentioned that yesterday the offense had a great day, but the day before the defense was dominant. Defense came up with 2 red zone interceptions. So, it just happens to be the day we watched. The offense had a really good day. Does Harold Perkins make an immediate impact? You'd have to define immediate impact. I mean, I think he'll play special teams and rotate at linebacker, but it seems right now at linebacker, your 2 interior backers are 6 and 30. So it's Mike Jones and Greg Penn, and Ojulari is playing the jack. When they went to short yardage, when they brought a 3rd linebacker, or I guess technically a 4th linebacker on the field, they brought in West Weeks was next. And sort of then you have Baskerville and Perkins. Wacky Chris, morning Matt, do you have a favorite player on offense, defense, and special teams? You probably have to define favorite player. I think Mason Smith's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and obviously Kayshon Boutte is the best player on the team, but Malik Neighbors, I think, is poised for a really good year. Parker Harrison, morning, Matt. I'm not sure it's being talked about enough, but how worried should we be about special teams, field goal kicking in particular? Yes, very worried. Gigantic unknown. When you go from the best place kicker in the history of the program to a real unknown. They got a transfer in from Northwestern named Trey Finson. I think it's Trey Finson or Finnison is his name. I think he was 46. Yeah, Trey Finnison, 46. He's a grad student from Northwestern in Chicago. So Trey Finnison is one guy they have who actually has kicked. So they got some experience. But I'm telling you, I did spend an entire period watching the kickers yesterday. And Ramos, by far, he's 6'2", he's a big kid, 6'2", 183, and by far has the biggest leg of all of them. It was like, they were kicking 40 plus, he's hitting the top of the net, and the other ones are like just, middle to bottom of the net. And accurate. Smash that like button if you would. Appreciate y'all for watching. As always, shout out to Brock, Manager with Beauty Clinic, and Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Leon Williams, do you think these receivers can rival the 2019 group, maybe catch lightning in a bottle with a transfer quarterback like Burrow? Well, you forget, Leon, Burrow, well, I'm sure you remember this, but Burrow had 2 years worth of starting. It was the second year where he really kaboomed. So, and to think they can rival 2019, you're talking about, could Kayshon Boutte, does he have pro potential like Jamar Chase? I'm not telling you he's going to be the rookie of the year, but he's a first-round pick and a transcendent type receiver, yes. If Jeray Jenkins is your 2, is he Justin Jefferson? It's a big ask. If Terrace Marshall was a 5-star, he was your number 3. I just think we got to maybe put 2019 on a pedestal all itself, on a top shelf all itself, and you kind of go from there. So, no, I don't. If you think you're going to see 2019 again, you're literally talking about the greatest team ever. So, no, I don't think we're going to see that again. Brett, didn't know Richardson's 24 years old. Yeah, 6-year guy. Trey Guy, good morning. What's good? Looks like T-Bob did it again. He did. Does it every week. Go check my TikTok if you want the latest T-Bob shenanigans from Scone and T. Brandon, YouTube is trash. Merrick Mathurin, 1,000% agree on the purple jerseys. What, for me, with me or with the other guy? I want to see the purple helmet from 2018. Hell no, get out of here. It's disgusting. When you have, listen, when you're Oregon and you have no tradition whatsoever, then the tradition you create is doing 1,000 different uniforms and combos and all that crap. When you have a traditional look that is gorgeous, you don't mess with it. You're the Yankees. Like, the Yankees don't need to go start wearing like navy blue jerseys with a gothic font across the front. They have a look, a timeless look. The Cubs with their pinstripes. Don't mess with it. Like, that's what LSU is with the gold helmet, The purple jersey with the stripes on the sleeves, the big purple numbers, the white jersey, the sleeves, the big purple numbers on the jersey, the gold pants with the stripe down the side. Like, it is undeniable what you're looking at when you see LSU run out on the field. And Brad David, no, I do not like Penn State's uniforms. There is such a thing as being too plain. Those are too plain. Let's see. Trey Mitchell, kick returners. It's Malik Neighbors, Seven Banks, Sage Ryan, 33 and 25. 33 is, I think, Javen Nicholas he's from St. Aug, he's a freshman. And 25 is, that's Greg Clayton. That's the receiver transfer from UTSA. Kevin Banta, Matt, did you say Kane and Goodwin have surpassed Emery? Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, they're getting run before him. Those were the guys repping with the first team. Yes. Deborah Coward, good morning. Really enjoying reports on football. Thanks for your dedication. Thanks, Deborah. Appreciate it. Thanks for listening and watching all that stuff. Brian Penton, good morning. Brand Roban, I'm always debating with these ignorant UT fans up here. I told them Brian Kelly and LSU would win a natty before UT. What do you think? Of course. I don't even think that's debatable. LSU's won 3 and played for a 4th since 2003. Tennessee hasn't been relevant in 20 years. Tennessee is in a similar boat to Notre Dame in that while you have great tradition, it is not a talent-rich state. So you have to go recruit nationally. Look at those Tennessee teams that were winning. The best players came from all over the country. Aiden Cruz, Matt, the reason I asked that question about Lane Kiffin is because I could see him taking like an Auburn job if that were to come open. Oh, maybe. Yeah, he's got a better chance to win at Auburn than Ole Miss. That's what Tommy Tuberville did. People forget. Tubbs left Ole Miss to go to Auburn. Vino Frazier, good morning. I know it's kind of complicated, but what other year would you compare this defense to? I got to see him first, Vino. Got to see him first, man. Like in a game. Chance Babbitt, I enjoy Brian Kelly's press conference. He's such a professional. It's refreshing. Yes. And you don't hear the same adjectives for everyone. Outstanding. Tremendous. Phenomenal. Okay. Everyone's outstanding, tremendous, and phenomenal. It's so interesting when you actually have a contrast, when you have something to contrast. It's like, oh, that's what it's supposed to sound like. Daniels takes better care of the football is what you're saying. Charlie, I don't know that I could say that from a sample size, but what I am saying is, that's the knock on Nussmeier is that sometimes he's careless with football. So he's got to purge some of that out of him, right? And yesterday he made a bad decision with football. Where if you're in a quarterback battle and you're in a game and you make that throw and you throw a pick in the end zone, you're probably sitting on the bench. Tony Cortello, Brian Kelly seemed more intense at the post-practice press conference yesterday. Mentioned the difference between demanding and degrading. Was yesterday's practice sloppy or natural increase? No, Jock asked him a question because there was a point in the practice where, hang on a second. All right, y'all, I gotta wrap up. I gotta get Drew dressed and get him out to school. Real quick, so Jacques asked him the question, and what happened was they were doing 7-on-7s, and I want to make sure it was during the 7 on. Not that it really matters, I just want to be accurate, because I wrote it down when it happened. Okay, it wasn't. It was not 7-on-7s. It was when the offense was doing the walkthrough against the scouts. And so, like, basically what happens is the backups on offense put on like little red vests and simulated defense. They're not playing; they're just standing in the place, right? So it's more of a walkthrough. And they were trying to get Walker Howard and 16, who's the walk-on, whose name again, y'all. I'm still learning all these guys' names. 16 is George Hamsley. Anyway, so they were getting Walker and Hamsley to signal in the plays, right? Let me rephrase. They're not signaling plays because Denbrock is actually on the sideline with a headset on, and he's calling the play from the sideline with the headset on. But you've got the two quarterbacks signaling the plays. Well, there are two student workers, grad assistants, whatever they are, right? Who know the play, who know how to know all the signals and everything. So they're the ones kind of doing it. Well, Brian Kelly wanted the quarterbacks to do it because in the game they're going to do it. And as he explained, like he wants the quarterbacks engaged and involved and knowing all this stuff. So at one point, the quarterbacks were supposed to be doing it. Well, these two GAs or whatever were still signaling the plays, and Kelly came over to him and kind of like got into him. He's like, get the hell out of here, like. Let them do it. I know you know how to do it. And that's what Jock was referring. There's a video you see of Brian Kelly like yelling at. I think Jock posted the video. That's what it was. So and he kind of got into him. It was the first time we've really seen Brian Kelly like get into somebody, and and so that's what he was talking. That's just the context he was talking about. It wasn't that he was more intense yesterday or anything like that. It was just that moment. It was the first time we kind of saw him blow up. I wouldn't call it a blow up. It was just a stern reinforcement. All right, it's 8:02, y'all. Sorry, I know I'm missing a bunch of your questions and comments. My apologies. I gotta get going here. So, y'all have an awesome day. Excuse me. If you want my full practice and scrimmage recaps, LSU Daily is already live. So, ever get your podcasts, LSU Daily. Apple, Spotify, just search LSU Daily. Please do that. Subscribe. Of course, AFR3. We'll look forward to seeing y'all then. Shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Okay, y'all have an awesome day, and we'll see you for AFR3.